I'm Damien LeRoy. I am from Jupiter, Florida, and been kiting for about 12 years and made this big transition to course racing probably about 5 years ago, I'd say. And the evolution has just exploded, and now we're at a pretty unique stage where everybody's super close, the boards are all the same, the fins are minor changes, and I think we're at a really cool stage because it becomes a true sailing event, and it's exciting to watch, and everybody's just getting better, but to a certain extent now everybody's just in one group versus groups that are spread out sort of. So now it's just going to be one big massive group, everybody racing against each other. So to me that's a huge advance. Why I'm still in this sport of racing, or why I've pushed it, is because it's kind of endless right now. There's no, I mean, we're still talking about fins and boards, and yeah, we have regulations, but you know, now can a fin kind of foil up to where you're actually riding a foil and the board's barely tapping, versus before we were just pushing against it. There's so much more that I think we still need to tap into. It's just really exciting. You can ride, and pretty much ride all the time, in 5 miles per hour you can be out there ripping around, and it's, I tell everybody this, you can be riding and be powered, like you're getting a great workout, bunch of your buddies out there just having a good time. I think the future of a bigger jump or a bigger advancement could potentially happen, I think, if some maybe rules were changed. But right now we're hitting that end. I mean, I say that, you never know what could come up, but everybody's really close right now. Fins change, but fins at the end of last year are still just as good this year, and you could probably end up winning on it. It's just minor changes. So I think now it's just time on the water. I think the brands of kite surfing, the kite companies have made a big jump, and a lot of kite companies have jumped on board and made great kites to benefit the light winds and racing in general. Boards, I mean, you got some great board builders out there building some incredible stuff to advance the sport. I would say there's always room for improvement, but we're at a stage that's unique. So anybody getting into the sport could buy something right now, and you're probably going to be on it in 5 years. That's my opinion. Now, unless if rules change and minimums, maximums of board size and stuff change, then maybe that'll, I'd take that back. But right now I'd say we'll be riding this stuff in 5 years. I think it's a perfect time to get into this sport of racing, because all these advancements have been made to where, like I said, you buy gear right now or get yourself, I had a question from a guy, just a normal kiter today, and he came up and he said, my wife really wants to get into the racing. I mean, should I downsize my fins? And I'm like, run the same stuff we're running, because if you learn that, it's what works. That's what the board's meant to do. That's what it's meant to foil and how it's meant to work. So I think you could just get your hands on any race setup, and you're pretty much golden, I think, for the future. This is what I see happening. I'm actually a sales rep as well, and I travel around doing demos, and I see a lot of newbies. You see a ton of newbies with race boards. They can't tack. They're learning it. They can't ride in as light as winds as these competitors that are here, or the full race guys. So what you'll see is in a year or two, they're tacking. They're ready to go to a race and give it a shot. We have 2 new guys here from Naples that just were training for about a year and a half, and they're here and they're just ripping around, having a great time. I mean, it's kind of an evolution. We've been at it for 5 years, so you see the same faces because we've been in the industry pushing it and trying to build it. I would say the best thing we can do for our sport in general, and I've always wanted to be the guy to try to push a lot of different things, is our sport is so unique. We have freestyle, we do have course racing, we have wave riding, we have all these new aspects. We don't want to copy anything. We want to be kiteboarding, and with racing you can ride in no wind, and maybe in 2016 we can be in the Olympics. I mean, you don't really know where the future is, but I think if you have all these wave guys pushing waves and all these freestyle guys pushing freestyle, and you have the course racing, you have the speed, the sport's just going to keep growing. Snow kiting, I mean, it's endless. So to me, the more people focus on every different thing is only going to grow our sport and make it better for the future. You know, I hope companies, designers, and all these people don't focus on just one thing, because the consumer is out. A lot of people don't want to race. They want to ride waves. A lot of people just want to cruise. Make all those, because the truth is we get into this sport to try all these things, and everybody likes their own thing. Enjoy it. I mean, the sport is, you know, if racing doesn't really kind of turn you on, then, you know, if wave riding is your thing, it's amazing. I mean, wave riding on a kite is totally one of the most unique things. So I think you should have no direction other than what you enjoy doing in the sport. You shouldn't have to do something, or, you know, I think the sport should just evolve how it's evolving. You know, course racing is getting really ruly. It's very sailing oriented. So the thing about slalom that's kind of unique is there's not really much of a rule after you start. There's pretty much no rules. So in a sense, it's more user friendly, because somebody that never sailed before can come and do this and, you know, and have a great time. Versus course racing, you can get caught up in some different battles of protests and all sorts of stuff. So I don't ever want to see it go ruly to where people are using rules to hurt the sport. So I think slalom is absolutely exciting for people to see and watch, and truthfully it's probably a lot easier for a lot of people because it's more of a downwind cruise versus grinding upwind. But you know, each to their own. I think you should try them both and see what you like. Well, I never grew up a sailor, so I don't, you know, as I'm more evolved in trying to push into the Olympics and be at the front of the racing, and, you know, winning a world championship in slalom and all these things, I think, I mean, a sailboat that goes and sails around has a sail, and we have this kite, which is a sail. I mean, I can understand it's not a fixed thing and it's more extreme. But if you think about evolution, I mean, you know, they used to race motorcycles around a circular track, and now they're jumping over everything. I mean, it's the evolution of changing, sort of like. So can sailing be going more extreme? For sure. And, you know, Rob Douglas is the fastest guy in the world, and is he a sailor? I think for sure. I mean, these sailboats are out there going 500 meters over a huge distance, and they can start it at any given time, and they cost millions of dollars, and here he is on a kite in a tiny channel getting pulled by the wind and going as fast as he can. So to me, I think we're sailors. We'll go out there jumping a line with dinghies or whatever, and these guys are like, what am I doing, like putzing around here when I could be on that super fast boat? And so, yeah, I think a lot of people are switching. Hard part is you got to learn a whole new sport. It's not like jumping in a boat and learning how to sail. So, but, you know, it's like I said, evolution. You have wave riding, you have freestyle. Every direction should keep going, and then a sport will grow. So, for sure, the best way I would say is go, you know, down to your local beach, talk to some of the local riders that maybe have a little more knowledge of the area, and say, hey, what are our average winds here? Obviously, you're into kiteboarding, and maybe you want to make that next move. Get the info you can on your local area, for sure. And I would look up, you know, I mean, Alex Aguirre, I ride for Alex, and he makes some of the best race boards on the planet, for sure. I mean, a lot of the big companies, Cabrina, North, Slingshot, everybody's making race boards, and you know, Zychek, all these people have tons of gear that's available that is all very good. So, can you go wrong now? I think if you buy used stuff from 3 years ago, yeah, you can go wrong for sure. But now, if you buy new stuff, you know, at least 2011 on, I think you're in the ball game. And kites definitely made a change, I would say, last year, 2011. So anything on there, I think I don't see much changes this year. So, you know, like I said, 5 years ahead, there'll be minor changes, but I don't really see the mind-blowing one. I'm hoping to be the guy that has that, but we'll see what happens.